landing on Cryptex land. Get off the ship and take a walk. Take any guitar and start your own band. Here you can sing, here you can talk, here you can say whatever you want. Here you can stay, become a mutant. Just try to be nice. For hate there is no space. Don't skate on thin ice. You better not run that race. The race of the trolls, the race of the hate. I will show you the rules. Don't hate but create. You are landing on Cryptex land. Get off the ship and take a walk. Take any guitar and start your own band. Here you can sing, here you can talk, here you can say whatever you want. Here you can stay, become a mutant. Just try to be nice. For hate there is no space. Don't skate on thin ice. You better not run that race. The race of the trolls, the race of the hate. I will show you the poles. Don't hate, but create. The race of the trolls, the race of the hate. I will show you the poles. Don't hate, but create.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Sorry for being late. I was late for a couple of minutes trying to fix some technical problems here. I hope my sound is good. Let me start by saying hello to you guys. Rebecca, that interview made my skin crawl, mine too, and we're gonna talk about that soon. Let me know if my sound is okay or not. So thank you, Rebecca, for being here. Linda K. Johnson, good morning. That interview was frankly torturous to listen to. Same here. People from Australia, my good friend from the Theory 21, how are you? Crip usually hits the hammer on the head, but I will give you one timestamp that I'm focusing on. Thank you, man, for that. Fluffy Bunny, happy to have you here too. Again, my good Australian friend, Veronica is here. How are you, Veronica? Thank you for showing up. Shay Watson, how are you, Shay? Hope you're doing good today. Thank you guys again for being here. I'm gonna come to the comments later. I have a question later for you, girl lawyer, because that's gonna be part of my discussion today, and I have like a question for a lawyer, and maybe you're gonna help me with the answer. We're gonna talk about this. What was said during the interview about the dandelion tip again, that was painful. So, Simdal's here, my good friend from Netherlands. We have a very good representation. So, oh shit. Simdal says that you cannot hear me well. Can you hear me, guys, please? Someone let me know if my sound is good or not, because now I'm worried about this. I don't see anyone other than Simdal saying that you cannot hear me. So please, someone confirm to me. Okay, sound is fine. So I don't know, Simdal, what's going on with your settings. So I want to talk today about the video or the interview that was made by Hidden True Crime Lori to Nick McLeland. I think it was yesterday or before yesterday, and it was kind of painful for real. Again, I don't know what's wrong with this girl. Just to start, and it's not my style, but what's wrong with her? He has like 3,000 layers of makeup on her face. It's just like an introduction for you to see how fake is gonna be that interview. You know, I don't like to criticize the physical aspects or other people, and she looks fine, but just with, I don't know, it's too much makeup. She looks like a clown, and all of them were clowns in that interview. So I want to start with the first one of the things they were saying, or Nick McLeland was talking about. He was talking about aliens and Sasquatch, and that's really stupid. He said that law enforcement at one point of the investigation, they received tips from some crazy people talking about Sasquatch and aliens. Like they were saying that maybe some aliens kidnapped the girls or the Sasquatch. What's the point of going in an interview on YouTube to say that? I think it's a smart strategy, maybe, to say that if you are not aligned of that, if you are against law enforcement narrative, you are a lunatic, you are a crazy guy, because there are crazy and lunatic guys in this world, and some of them were typing law enforcement about aliens and about Sasquatch. That's really stupid. And of course, I don't buy that. I don't think that anyone called to law enforcement to give a tip about aliens or Sasquatch. To me, that's a lie, and it's just part of the narrative to make fun about people that are not aligned with the state narrative again. And if for some reason that I don't believe that was true, I'm pretty sure that was manufactured by law enforcement. It's a way to create some type of game here. Like, hey, you know what? I need this type of tip. Talk about aliens. Talk about Sasquatch, because I can use that for my own benefit later. So that's the type of dirty stuff law enforcement uses here in this case. And this is the type of stuff that some consultant who brags about solving problems will advise his friend Nick to make. Some YouTuber that Nick asked to delete everything. This case is really dirty, guys. So I was just bothered when he was talking about that. And at one point, they connect in the same sentence. They connect aliens, Sasquatch, Keegan Kline, and Ron Logan. Like, it's a way to say, if you think that Keegan Kline is still connected, or that if you think that Ron Logan is still connected in this case, you're thinking that in the same way of this guy who made a tip about aliens and Sasquatch. It's really stupid. I didn't like that. It was really, what's the point for real? So I just wanted to start with that, with aliens, with Sasquatch, and let's talk about some things that I don't know. This guy Nick McLeland, oh my God, makes me mad. So one of the things he said during the interview is that the only one who knows if there were other people involved or not is Richard Allen. How can you say that in an interview, man? You are the prosecutor. You have to know that. It's your responsibility. How can you go out there to say that the only one who knows if there's another people involved is Richard Allen? It makes me mad. You have to know that. You are the prosecutor of this case. And I'm pretty sure you know if there were other people or not, and you know there were, because it doesn't make sense to say that this crime was committed but only one person. So during the interview, you're gonna see how Nick McLeland, he cleans his hands with this type of statements. The only one who knows if there were other people involved or not is Richard Allen. Can you believe that? So stupid. In the same sense, he said the defense didn't come up with their own investigation. They used our investigation, meaning law enforcement investigation, in the Frank memorandum to come with their own theory. Come on, it's not the responsibility of the defense to come with an investigation or to perform or to conduct an investigation. Again, it's your responsibility. It's not to the defense to perform an investigation here. For the defense, it's just to create reasonable doubt, not to conduct an investigation. Investigation is something that should be done properly by law enforcement, and we all know that that was not the case. They didn't do a proper investigation, just a crappy investigation here. And as some of you guys, you were commenting in the chat, and I'm gonna come back to your comments later. He was talking about the Dan Doolin tip. He was talking about Kathy Shank, how a superhero she is, because she found the mysterious lost tip in that box where the tip was, or the box was marked as cleared. And he just said, somebody wrote clear, we don't know who, not a big deal. It's painful, really. They think we are stupid. They think we are stupid, and in the unlikely case that that situation was actually something that happened, you as the prosecutor, you should investigate who put or who cleared that tip, because you spend 5 or 6 years to be able to find someone in connection to this crime, because that tip, if that's true, was marked as clear. Of course, I don't buy that. There's something behind that, but that was really painful to hear that bullshit again, and to see Nick saying that, not a big deal. It was just something that was wrongly marked as clear. So that makes you really mad. It was really painful again. He was talking about voice recognition. So this interview was it was a joke. The girl and the other guest, they were asking very comfortable questions to McLeland, as expected. But the way she was reacting to his answers was really sad. He was, I agree. He was like so fake and so licking his ass for real. This is painful. You as a reporter, as an interviewer, I understand that you have to respect the people you are bringing to your show, but show some decency when you are conducting this investigation and this type of interviews. It was really sad to see her behavior during the interview. Sorry. So the guy, I don't know exactly. He's some type of profiler. I don't know. another guest who was conducting the interview with her. He asked Nick McLeland about voice recognition. So he asked him, "Did you contact any voice expert to try to identify the voice of Bridge guy?" And Nick, he said, "Oh, we contacted some experts, but all of them, they said that the voice sample was so short that it was impossible to identify his voice." And this is a big problem here, because we know, and actually I agree with him, that's the case. That's Lauren's husband? Really? I didn't know. Okay. So actually his answer is correct. The voice sample, according to the voice analysis expert, is so short that you cannot identify the guy. But what happened during the process? They allowed this guy, Harshman, the one who was listening to the Richard Allen calls, to testify that according to him, the Richard Allen's voice was the same voice of Bridge guy. So this is of course, is a way to influence the jurors, and you can see the contradiction here. He said in this interview, what we know, that the voice sample is not useful. You cannot use it to identify the guy, but at the same time, you allowed someone else during the process to testify that the voice was Richard Allen's voice, was consistent, or was actually his voice. So to me, that's a big problem here. And again, that's the way the investigation was conducted. In another part of the interview, Nick was crying, crocodile tears. So cheesy, so fake, so painful to see that. Come on, it was not even a hard question for him. They were talking about the video, and he starts crying because how emotional is that video that was released recently for him. The prosecutor, someone who is used to see crime scene pictures, who already saw the same video thousands of times, he goes in this interview to cry in front of everyone. It was so cheesy, so fake. Oh my God, for real, that makes me very mad. Now, they were talking about another question. The same guy, the husband, he asked, what about the height analysis? Why didn't you do a proper analysis, or why didn't you contact any expert to know what was the height of Richard Allen? And his answer was, because every expert we contacted, they told us that there was a margin of error of about 2 inches. That's freaking great. If you are able to contact an expert and the margin of error is 2 inches, you are going to narrow the population of suspects in a very significant way. So plus or minus 2 inches is actually a great projection of the height, but they didn't want to use that expertise to narrow the suspects list, let's say. Maybe it's because that the outcome of that analysis is not going to play in favor of the state, or maybe they did the actual height analysis and it doesn't correspond to Richard Allen's height. I don't know, but his answer was really stupid. That because the margin of error was plus or minus 2 inches. This is a great approximation. So you're not gonna, I don't know, again, his answers were kind of painful to hear. Another question was, what about facial recognition? So the guy, he asked Nick if they were able to find someone, some expert, able to use facial recognition to identify a bridge guy. And he said that he doesn't know, that if that was done, no one told him. So again, you are the one prosecuting Richard Allen, and you don't know those type of details. You don't care. You don't ask for that to your investigators. It's not the proper way to conduct an investigation here. This is the type of details that you should know. But for him, it's really easy to go on YouTube to cry, to say that he doesn't know if they used facial recognition or not, because he doesn't care. And no one told him that, and he didn't care to ask. For him, someone who wrote clear in the tip, in the Dan Doolin tip, that was not a big deal. It happened after 5 or 6 years, and Cathy Shank is a superhero, but he doesn't care what happened there. He's not gonna do an investigation because that's over. So no one is gonna buy that bullshit. So it was really painful to hear, to listen to this guy. He was talking also about, and this is maybe the only thing I agree with him. They were asking him about Richie Davis, and he said, I don't understand why, if the defense, they had that information, why didn't they use or they didn't interview Ricky Davis during the pre-trial hearings? And I think that, you know what's my theory here? And I think, again, that's because it wasn't something that it was actually in the benefit of the defense. Because at one point, the clients or Logan, they could connect Richard Allen to the crime. So they prefer to go with the Odinist theory. Everything that they put in the Frank memorandum was related to Odinist, and they decided not to use the Klein, not to push the Klein or the Ron Logan angle before or during the process. They are doing that today because, in my opinion, they don't have any choice. Right now is the only choice they have for the appealing process or for the potential appealing process. And it is what it is. What else they were talking about? They were talking about Elvis Fields. According to McLeland, they interviewed properly Elvis Fields. That according to Murphy, Elvis was just messing with him. So I don't know what's behind that, but he said that he was properly investigated, whatever. So they talked a little bit about Elvis Fields as well during the investigation. Let me play something here before going to the comments. Just 1 second, guys. I don't know why it's not. Okay, here. Okay, just 1 second, guys, here. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna go to the comments first because I don't want to be so late, and then I will continue with the video. So I'm gonna try to go fast to catch up. Rebecca, that interview made my skin crawl. I agree 100%. Yeah, the interview with Linda Kay was really painful again. From the 321, it's the 46-minute mark. I only noted the anomalies here, but I will try and decipher the truth. I don't know what are you talking about. Hello, Veronica. Shay Watson, Sasquatches are real. Yeah, maybe they are. If we don't look, we will not see. Okay, Fluffy Bunny. Talking about cleared tip, or when Lauren asked when he knew Richard Allen was the one. Did crypt exchange into a different time? Yes, sorry, I was late for about 20 minutes, so sorry for that. Veronica is talking about the folder that was incorrectly labeled. So Rick sheet was labeled wrong inside that folder. Yes, again, that Dean Doolin's tip narrative was again painful to hear. How he said just that shit happens and he doesn't care what was the problem there that caused 5 or 6 years of investigation. Yeah, right. That's a good point, Veronica. Was it just me? I felt like Nick is not convinced Rick is guilty. Richard Allen was arrested, so he had to prosecute the trial. This is a very good point, and I have some similar idea in my mind. We try to think very bad about Nick, but I think he's in a position where he has to do what he has to do. Think about Andy Baldwin and Rosie. They are the defense lawyers. Even if, let's say, if Richard Allen is guilty or involved, they are the lawyers. They have to do the best to release or to try to get a verdict of innocence for his client. And it's the same for Nick here. He's the prosecutor. Remove Nick from the scenario here, they're gonna put another guy who has to do the same thing. Any prosecutor is gonna be there to try to convict Richard Allen. To me, the real problem is Holman. That's the dirty guy here. Jerry Holman, Mullin. This is a mix of incompetence and corruption. But yeah, maybe Nick is not convinced of the guiltiness or culpability of Richard Allen, but he has to do that in the same way. Maybe Baldwin or Rosie, they are not convinced that Richard Allen is innocent, but they have to do their job. The problem here is not Nick, is not Baldwin, it's not Rosie, it's Holman, in my opinion. Okay, we have Jen Gar lawyer. I'm gonna ask you a question soon when I play my video, because I have a question for a lawyer. I don't know the answer, so it's coming soon. That said, it wasn't negate claims. Dooling was oblivious. The boss has landed. Yeah, I landed very late again. Sorry for that. We have, okay, I think my audio is good, if I understood properly. Fluffy Bunny. They were still conducting ballistics testing when Nick said he received word the bullet was a match. Yeah, and they were doing Google searches during the actual process, after the testimony of the expert of the state. They were doing Google searches and they allowed to use that Google search during the process. Can you understand that? Can you really? It's incredible. This investigation is just incredible. I'm going to advance a little bit. I tipped in Chupacabra. Yeah, Sasquatches, aliens, Chupacabras. That's how this case became. Tips about aliens, tip about Sasquatch. And he goes online laughing about that stuff. This is, again, painful. Kate, he doesn't have to know that. I don't remember what I was talking about at that point. Atalanta sounds like Italian. I love the Atalanta's soccer team. Happy to have you here. Hello, everybody. I couldn't watch the interview. I tried. I understand why you couldn't watch it, because it was painful. Those three people made me feel so uneasy. It's easier to handle it here with you all. I agree. It was really painful. And again, the way Lori was answering to every single thing Nick said, licking his ass in that pitiful way. Oh my God, seriously. She takes care of herself. Yeah, maybe too much makeup for my taste, but anyways, I accept that. Turns out someone else was involved. He will prosecute them next. That's the way it works in the US. Yeah, but they are not going for anyone else right now. The case is closed for the state. They're not going for any Odinist guy, for Ron Logan is already dead, for Keegan Kline, who I think they made a negotiation with. So they just opened the champagne bottle. They're not gonna investigate anyone else here for sure. That's what the defense attorneys are supposed to do. The Frank's memorandum was not the defense's theory anyway. That's not what a Frank's memo is for. Yeah, they used the information that was provided by the state to formulate a theory, but it was the defense theory using information provided by the state. But it's not the responsibility of the defense to investigate the case. That's the responsibility of the state. Kate, they caught the guy. It's over. For you, it's over. For us, it's not. That's why we're here talking about the case. You are criticizing them for taking so long to get to that answer, of course. Don't you? You think that's okay? 6 years to have an answer. If they had allegedly, they had the guy since day one. So, of course, I'm criticizing them for that. You should do it as well. But they got to that answer before you did. So are not you criticizing yourself? I didn't have the tip here in my house. The tip was in possession of law enforcement. So of course they had to the answer before me. And I'm not here solving the case. I'm here asking questions. So if I don't have the tip in my house, I cannot solve the question. Sindal, maybe Kate, but let's not pretend the trial and investigation was conducted properly and gave real answers. You stole my words, Sindal here. Thank you for that. He's a joke. I don't think he's a joke. I think he's actually smart. He did what he had to do, but his answers were painful to hear. Anyways, some cases never get solved at all. That's because of the incompetence and corruption of law enforcement in multiple cases. So, and I'm not pretty sure that full justice was achieved here in this case. The prosecutors and law enforcement, that's literally their job, to investigate, of course, and find the culprits, of course, 100%. Linda K, yes, I found it. really, really, really painful. That was painful. Veronica, I'm not confident they have the right person just from the investigation. Yeah. When the investigation is that poorly conducted, you cannot trust the outcome. I agree. Thank you for the information. That's Lauren's husband. I didn't know. And he was the one asking good questions. He was the one asking about the height, about the voice recognition, about some stuff that were not that easy for Nick. And yeah, maybe he has no choice that going with his wife in the show. I don't know, but he seems to be smart, but there's a narrative there in that channel for sure. Anna Lisette is here. Thank you, Anna, and thank you for being yesterday with me in the science live we did. I think they live here in Idaho. Lauren was a TV journalist with one of our larger stations. She should perform much better interviews if she was actually a TV journalist. And again, I think you have to respect your guest, but when the questions are just to praise the work you do, to tell you how good you were, thank you for everything you do, let's cry together in front of the camera, that's really sad. That's really sad. The guy's a psychologist, pretty sure he's got a PhD. Yeah, he knows his stuff. He knows. I agree. Goddess is dying in the middle of the grocery store. Why? Want to know why are you laughing? Rafael, Kate B could be BG. It's a newly created account that only subscribed to Delphi channels and other channels. Strange. But everybody is entitled to their opinion, and I think she's being respectful. So if you think that the state was okay and that the investigation was properly conducted, I don't mind. You can be here, Kate, giving your ideas. We can discuss in a civil matter. Now, if the conversation degrades or is not respectfully, that's another thing, but it's not a problem. Georgie Girl is here. How are you, Georgie? Judge Judy wouldn't have allowed that. Again, Kathy, if you want to do your own investigation, get a PI license and go for it. But Richard Allen killed Abby and Libby. It's been proven in a court of law. I don't think it was proven at all. I think that at the best, and this is a big supposition, let's say, at the best, it was proven that he was Bridge guy. And maybe for a lot of people, it wasn't even proven. But to me, it's not. It wasn't proven that Bridge guy kidnapped the girls. It wasn't proven that Bridge guy committed the crime, and it's not that clear that Bridge guy was Richard Allen. To me, likely Richard Allen is Bridge guy, but I didn't see any proof, any solid proof. Okay, licking his ass is accurate. Yeah, that's what she was doing. This painful. Okay, Shelley. Her husband, Dr. John, is very smart. I agree. Sometimes I believe hidden true crime is acting at times. Of course, she was acting. Oh my God, it was so fake. Of course, she was acting. Come on. Shay Watson, it wasn't proven. It was the only option. Nick was crying, I think, because he's thinking about RICO charges. Typical gaslighting. Okay, let me advance a little bit here in the comments. Never say never, my friend. some hair gel got into his eyes. Yeah, I think so. Okay, Rebecca, that's because they said 6 foot, which would have been 5.8. Good point. Again, maybe the height analysis expert was not something in the benefit of the law enforcement, and that's why they didn't do that analysis. And I said, whatever the height of Bridge Guy, he probably gains a couple of inches with his shoes and his head. Probably looking for rotten spots on the bridge. I don't see how to get accurate height. Yeah, but it's better to have a margin of error of plus or minus 2 inches than not having any approximation, in my opinion. I think if some expert said, I can give you the height with a margin of error of plus or minus 2 inches, then you can play with that. The other factors, the boots, the way he was bending his head, but they didn't care. I bet he stole the taxpayers' money for really good quality, expensive hair gel. It was better for the state to keep all the details vague, of course. Someone called and said aliens as a joke. Yeah, and that could be something manufactured by the state to use it in a YouTube channel as they used it yesterday, to try to imply that everyone who is not aligned with the state theory is a lunatic. We were not born yesterday. It's like when they were presenting the opening statements, and remember that they were not able to operate the screen, law enforcement. That's a way to play with the mind of the jurors, to say, hey, technical problem happens every day. Technical problems, that's the day-to-day here in this world. That's why we lost a lot of interviews during the investigation. So, imagine we are here presenting our opening statements, we are not able to turn on the screen, to operate a simple device as a televisor. So they're smart and they're not stupid. I thought his glasses were fake. Okay. From the 321. The interview gave confirmation to the level of significance YouTube has, and let it's very much on the radar. I agree. Annalise said, our court system is adversarial. It was Nick's job to be biased and one-sided. Karen is telling me that, why are you so evil? I don't know. You tell me, why do you think I'm evil? According to you, the interview was excellent. According to Rebecca, was shameful. I think it was painful, but is useful at the same time to understand how the state conducts this type of investigations, how some channels are pushing some narratives, how some people who pretend to be a reporter is asking questions to praise his guest, how sad is to watch Nick crying. Oh my God. J. Ray, wait, but I thought the defense was not aware of the Ricky Davis situation until after the trial. No, I think they were aware, but he changed his opinion on Ricky Davis at one point. At the beginning, he believed that Richard Allen was involved. Then he changed his mind, and that played a part in the defense strategy to not to call him. because if they call Ricky Davis to give a testimony, and Ricky Davis is thinking that Richard Allen is actually involved, that's not going to play well for the defense. So it's not a good strategy. So that's why they didn't call him. Now, because he had more information, let's say, Ricky Davis, he says that he changed his mind over time, and now he understands, according to him, that Richard Allen is not involved. So now is the good time for the defense to call Ricky Davis. That's my opinion. It was not a good move for the defense to call Ricky Davis and to talk about Keegan Kline and to talk about Ron Logan before or during the process. They prefer to go with the Odinist theory, which is, in my opinion, the theory that don't connect in any possible way Richard Allen with the alternative suspects. But again, it's my opinion here. Analyzed. I will never understand why family and law enforcement implored all of us across USA to get involved, to help find BG. The public was invited in, and now they are shocked. It's an international case. Yeah, and they were asking for help with shitty information, with shitty material, let's say. They released a distorted image of a bridge guy. So how can you help identifying bridge guy with that shitty still image, or that video that was actually distorted and is not representative of the video that was released recently? Why didn't release the actual video at the time if they wanted to the public to identify the guy? That's a good point. Why were they talking about the two sketches and saying in 2019 that the old sketch became secondary, and the new sketch is the one who is valid now, creating confusion. You know, I agree with you, Analyset, 100%. Good comments as usual. Don Doxme is saying hello to you guys, to Simdal, to Karen, to Anna. Thank you, Don Doxme. I haven't asked your email. Sorry for that. I'm being very busy at work these days. Should have asked him about the changing witness statement and the white van. Yeah, they didn't do that, of course. They didn't do that during the interview. This is a very important comment from the 3021. Please hit the like, guys. I think we have 55 people here, and if you are not subscribed, subscribe. So that was the publicity section of the live. Thank you from the 3021 to remember me about that. Shay Watson, Analyset, true, but it's also defense job to present exculpatory and or contradictory evidence, which they were prohibited from doing. No due process. And that's another thing. During the interview, Nick, he was saying that the defense lawyers, they were not fair. Like if the actual process here was fair. I don't think Richard Allen, he was subjected to a fair process. And I agree with you, Shay, but now that the case is over, we can say, why didn't the defense ask Richard Allen to give his testimony? I don't know. Maybe they thought that was not the good strategy. But today, since the verdict was a conviction, now we say, oh, maybe that's what they should have done at the time. But and I think that's what we all want. I want to listen to Richard Allen. I hope that in the future he's gonna give some interview trying to give his own version of what happened. that day. I hope we are gonna be able to watch soon the interview between Richard Allen and Jerry Holman, because I think we're gonna understand a lot of things there. And I don't know, now that this video was released, I'm expecting to have more material being released soon. Okay, Subrosa is here. Hello, Subrosa. You have been a pro Richard Allen channel from the beginning, masquerading as undecided. You said you would respect the jury's verdict, but here we are. Well, I think you don't watch the channel so often, because if you know what's my theory is not that Richard Allen is innocent. So if you say that I'm a pro Richard Allen channel, that's not the reality. And actually that put me in a situation that is not very comfortable to me, because the pro Allen viewers, they're not going to be very happy with me saying that Richard Allen was involved. And the pro prosecution viewers, as you, they are not be very happy when I say that Richard Allen, he didn't have a fair trial, that the evidence doesn't prove that he was guilty, or at least that he was the killer or the kidnapper. I cannot say things that I don't think. I have my own theory. I don't think I'm a pro Richard Allen channel. I hate the way this investigation was conducted. I think it was a crappy investigation. I'm not sure if we can trust the verdict. I respect the jury's verdict. I respect it, but I think that the jurors, they didn't have all the evidence in front of their eyes to get the proper verdict. So of course I respect the jurors' verdict. They didn't have all the material. If I'm a juror and I just see one side of the story, I have no choice to say, okay, yeah, that guy is guilty. If I don't see the other suspects and what was the role on the crime. Anyways, Mar. Hello, Mar. How are you? Happy to have you here. Analyset. Adrienne, I cannot accept those results. Firing hits and expands cartridge. Yeah, me neither. I cannot accept that. So, but Anna and I know nada about guns. I don't know why are you talking about guns here, guys. I lost that part of the conversation. He's happy to have you here. RC99 as well. Good to see you. Analyset. Matt Sullivan, or was it returned after a proactive legal battle? That seems to be the last part of the story. Matt is here? I didn't see any comment from Matt in the chat. Matt is here. Hey, how are you, Matt? Happy to have you here. They never returned Weber's pistol. It was inconclusive match. Great point. Great point. Now I understand why are you talking about guns here, guys. Theories change when evidence comes to light, 100%. Adrienne, I appreciate you, Cryptes, for being fair. I try to be fair with my own logic, let's say. Thank you for your comment. Simdal, we simply don't know, and that's the truth, regardless of the conviction. Matt Sullivan, I was told that Weber never got the gun back. Good point, very interesting. Hey, Matt, Rick Snay is going to send you an email. Please try to respond to me. Veronica, we need to find a connection to at least make him somehow involved or even acquaintance with those people, with those type of personalities. And that's part of my next section here. And why do I think there's a potential connection? Actually, you already know that, but I have a question for you anyways. It's rare these days for someone originally prostate to come around and be honest about the facts. I agree. Not everyone is able to change their minds. There's a lot of ego here. And when you have a horse in your mind, you're not going to change your theory. There's a lot of ego. And that's sad, but that is what it is. Shay Watson. But then again, if he was not involved, he wouldn't really know what happened. And if he is, will he be safe doing an interview, naming names? There's not much left for him at this point. But maybe he could clarify some things, because there are still a lot of questions in the air. Let's say about his phone. Why didn't you have your phone at the time? Maybe that's an answer he can give us. Oh, maybe because I traded at the time, or because I lost it, or because someone stole my phone, or because I gave it to a friend. Maybe there's a way to trace that phone. And if we have his phone in 2017, maybe that's a way to prove that he was innocent, or that he was at another part of Delphi at the exact time of the murders. If he talks, maybe he can give some answers. I don't know. But I agree with you. Maybe he's gonna be in much more trouble now. But he's already 130 years behind bars, so he doesn't have anything to lose, in my opinion. He has things to win, or maybe he's just waiting for the appealing process, and at that time he's going to testify to explain his own side of the story here. I don't know. Christy, I read on a post earlier that Keegan Klein has moved to Westville. Ah, really? I didn't know that. Good luck. Good luck to him. Cutting Cough. Hi, Creep. How are you? Happy to have you here. Matt Sullivan. There were several issues with the jury. First off, the state was grieving them to do the right thing and convict him. The pressure would have been intense. Yeah, and not only that, they didn't have all the information about the case to have like a more fair verdict. They were listening to stuff that they shouldn't listen to, like Harshman saying that Bridge Guy voice matches Richard Allen. Stuff like that was a way to influence the jurors. So for sure, that was not fair, in my opinion. Annalisette, those of us with lingering questions do not necessarily reject the jury's decision. Stuff doesn't add up, and we can't help but be curious. And that's what I do here. I ask questions. I ask you guys to be curious, to keep asking questions, because I agree. Things don't add up here. We are missing a lot of points of connection here. I think we know barely what happened after the girls encountered Bridge Guy, but after that, we really don't know too much. So it's just people making theories, trying to be logic, but sometimes logic directs you to another conclusion, let's say. Were kidnapping charges dismissed for Brad Weber? You mean when he kept two girls in his property? I don't know. I think he kept two journalists, I think, kidnapped his property. I really don't know what happened after that. Matt, I love Cryptex because he's a fellow Canadian. We don't agree on some, but he's a staunch defender of rights and believes in the truth, and I respect that. Thank you, man, for that, and I think the same about you. I'm not licking your ass as Hidden True Crime did yesterday with Nick McLeland. Thank you for your words. I agree, it's ridiculous. It was reached and they felt the pressure. Rebecca Cryptex does have an open mind. That's nice to see. Thank you again, guys, for that. Analyze it. The state has to hang on to the unspent round theory because according to Nick, that equals probable cause, equal arrest, equal conviction. Yeah, that's all they got. Without confession, state would lost, in my opinion. Yeah, and again, they had to put Richard Allen in the Westville facility during more than 1 year because they were expecting to have the confessions they needed. And the only way to have that it was to have Richard Allen under those conditions in that correctional facility. That's my opinion. And even though we don't know if the confession was actually a true confession, because that comes from Dr. Wallace's words. We don't have any videotaped material. We don't have any notes taken by Wallace. We just have to trust what she says about that, and we know what happened to the reputation of Dr. Wallace regarding the previous knowledge and the involvement she had in this case, right? Matt Sullivan, the families were starting at them. The jury knew that they wanted Allen convicted, starting at them. Yeah, good point. Matt Sullivan, for real. Imagine being on the jury. I'd be worried, like, I don't feel the state proved he's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I agree. But what if I'm wrong and we let this child murderer go free? But this is not our fault. This is the responsibility of the state. The state has the responsibility to convict the right guy and the right guys if there were multiple actors. So you shouldn't have that burden in your shoulder, Ray. You just follow your moral values, and the responsibility is not on you. The responsibility is on the state. And if they did a crappy investigation, you have the right to ask questions. So keep asking questions. Rebecca, if it don't add up, then it's not right, 100%. Annalise, maybe they are counting on Richard Allen not surviving long enough to straighten out this mess. Past heart attack has long-lasting issues for folks living happy lives. Drugs like Haldol can also damage heart. And not only that, he's going to be exposed to other inmates, inmates hating child murderers. So maybe he is under a potential risk of being attacked. And yeah, what if he's killed in prison? The answers are going to be lost at that point. And yeah, why not? Maybe that's a strategy. They are waiting for Richard Allen to be out of this planet. Is not impossible. Matt Sullivan, so that pressure ensured that if they said not guilty, that they would be on the wrong side of the fence. Yeah, 100%. Atalanta again. Those barbecues have disturbed me so much. Who knows what they were talking? Anyway, the law enforcement got to be the good guys. Yeah, and Jerry Holman is not the good guy for sure. That's something we know here. Shay Watson, the jury is not talk to anyone but each other, and the bailiff only for non-case purposes. Annalise, I wondered if the jury convicted kind of like kicking the can down the road. Defendant is mentally ill. Don't err in turning loose a vicious child killer. Yeah, I'm a little bit late in the chat, guys. I'm gonna play a video here. Okay, if you can see here, let me first, give me 1 second here, guys. I'm gonna hide the ticker, I'm gonna hide the comment. I'm gonna hide the comment now. Okay, so you can see here in the video, this is a video of 3 seconds, but I start here with this picture. We have a big tree here, and we have a guy behind the tree. So the only thing that he is able to watch is the surface of the tree. So he's not able to see the rest of the forest. That's something we know since we were children, that sometimes you don't see the forest because you are just focused on the tree, on the details. And maybe that's what is happening here in this case, guys. We try to focus too much in the details, that and that's okay, because we can play both sides here of the game. Sometimes the answers are in the details, but in the same sense, when you are so focused on the details, you are missing the big picture. And sometimes the picture is very easy to watch, or sometimes the big picture can give you a better understanding of what is happening here. So why am I talking about that? And I'm gonna talk again about my theory and the question I have for the lawyer, girl lawyer. I hope she's still here, because I don't know what is the answer here. But anyways, again, this is how I see this case. And I know I'm being very reductionist here, but my theory is, again, that after the confession of Keegan Kline at the Grissom Air Force Base, which happened after 5 years of this case being cold, let's say, everything happened in a couple of months after that. So this interview triggered a lot of events that were, in my opinion, connected one to each other. And after that, the arrest of Richard Allen happened just in a couple of months. So to me, it's very coincidental that we had 5 years of nothing. And after this, major point, the Keegan Kline's confession at the Grissom Air Force Base, everything happens after that. So he confessed at the Air Force Base. Law enforcement, they went to search the Wabash River, and they stated that the search of the Wabash River was a consequence of the Keegan Kline's confession. Remember that at the beginning of this search, there were a lot of discussions online saying that the river search was something that was not related to the confession of Keegan Kline, but we have documented statements from law enforcement saying that yes, they went to search the Wabash River after the confession of Keegan. So if law enforcement narrative was always saying that Keegan Kline is a liar, that you cannot trust everything he is saying, why are you going to search the Wabash River after that confession? So I would like to have the transcripts of that confession, because we don't know all of the evidence here in that sense. But to me, they trusted Keegan Kline for some reason. And I'm sure they did a polygraph before performing the search of the river, and they found that Keegan was credible during that interrogatory. Something that maybe only the killer knew at the time. Keegan, Allen, Logan, I don't know who, was known by Keegan Kline. Maybe they did a polygraph. The polygraph gave good results, in my opinion, because Nick is not that stupid to go to search the Wabash River for 5 or 6 weeks if Keegan is not telling the truth. So to me, they had some kind of solid evidence to trust Keegan Kline. Anyways, again, the Wabash River search, we know that was a consequence of the interrogatory of Keegan Kline at the Grissom Air Force Base. Right after the ending of the Wabash River search, law enforcement went to the burn pit at the house of the Keegan Kline's grandmother. Right away. So to me, something connected the conclusions of the Wabash River search to the house of the grandmother of Keegan Kline. And right after the search of that bottom pit, they went to look to the backyard of Richard Allen, and they arrested Richard Allen. And that's why that, in my opinion, in my logic, the Keegan Kline confession led to the arrest of Richard Allen, and somehow there's a connection between the Klines and Richard Allen. Now the question is, why, if they found something here in the Wabash River, why was that evidence not being presented during the case? And I don't have the answer. The only thing I can see here is that in my mind, in my logic, there's a connection, but I want to know what happened with the item that was potentially found during the search. Call it a knife, call it a box cutter, call it a cell phone. I don't know. To me, there's a negotiation between law enforcement and Richard Allen, and that's why he confessed. And that's the question I had for the lawyer here in the chat. Is it possible for law enforcement to find some item here in the Wabash River and not to bring that item to the case, to the process? I don't have the answer, and I want to see what is your opinion about that. Another thing that makes me very suspicious about the Wabash River is that today, remember that Jerry Holman, he went online to talk about the case, and he was talking like a parrot about everything, but he said 2 times, when he was asked about the Wabash River search, he said, I cannot talk about that at this point. I cannot talk about the Wabash River search. My question is for you guys, why? Why he cannot talk about that? What is the problem? It's easy to say, in my opinion, it's very easy to say that we didn't find anything, and just by chance, we have the Cathy Shank superhero bullshit story, but he didn't say that. He said that the Kline's door is still not closed, and that he cannot talk about the Wabash River search. Maybe that's confirmation bias for me. Maybe I can accept that. But again, my logic leads me to this picture here, and the testimony or the words of Jerry Holman about the Wabash River after the completion of the process reinforces my theory here. So that's what I wanted to say, and I know that a lot of you people disagree, but that's what I think. So I'm gonna come to the chat again. Analyset. Now this is before. I'm gonna go a little bit before. Give me just 1 second, guys, here. Okay. Don't dox me. Who was with these girls before Blitz guy showed? That's a very good question. To me, there were other people at the other side of the bridge. Maybe the Klines, I don't know, or someone related to the Klines. Again, to me, Keegan was the mastermind of this crime. To me, he is very underrated. He's very underestimated. He's not the stupid, dumb guy he tries to appear. So it's a good question. Shay Watson. That is what due process with written into the Constitution. You have the right to present reasonable doubt and cannot be prohibited from presenting exculpatory evidence. I agree 100%. Shay Watson, that tree is the Sasquatch. You have to look to see. Yeah, good point. Annalise said, Richard Allen's confessions don't seem to mention the creek crossing. That'd be a big thing to remember, 100%. In my opinion, an offender might use that for an excuse. They were getting away and I had to stop them. Yeah, this is a very interesting detail to not to have it in the confession. Simdal, I don't even think there was probable cause, to be honest. Same here. I don't think so. It was dirty from the start, 100%, regardless of his guilt. I love your comment. I love your comment, Simdal. J. Ray, they were prohibited from even saying that the girls' bodies were staged. So, new trial, in my opinion. I don't know. Annalise said, in my opinion, it is important that Holman will not discuss the Wabash River search. That was my point. This is very weird, and I don't understand it. And again, that's why I think there's something. The answer, or one of the answers here in this case, in this crime, is there in the Wabash River. Don't dox me. I heard that Anna was visiting with Elvis Fields at Westfall's uncle's place, which is where Elvis Fields lived at the time. I believe Brad Holder's son Logan Holder was with Anna, but I'm not sure. Quietly concerned. I don't think the state proved their case, and if Richard Allen is guilty, they should have proved it. This awful case will always have a question mark about it, 100%. Annalise said, if Keegan Klein is in any way involved, I guess he could name names of important people who enjoy CSAM. Yeah, and maybe the answer is there. Maybe there's someone with power who is involved in that CSAM ring, and they don't want to, to show that information to the public. Yeah, maybe. J. Ray, Simdal, right, I agree. Seems to me that this file was marked cleared because he was in fact cleared. Sounds crazy, yeah. Yeah, that is bullshit. I agree, 100%. Was it a week before the girls were killed that she visited them at the house? Okay, Shay Watson, don't you think Abby's hop skip jump off the bridge would be perceived as an attempt to run in that moment? A captor would have reacted. I'm still processing the video. I don't see any panic in the girls. Maybe at the end, some type of surprise, but I'm still processing. I want to watch that video 3,000 times more to try to understand better what happened there. Linda Kay. Through that cryptex, I find myself looking wider and higher up the human chain for answers. Unfortunately, it's quite easy to connect the wider and higher ones. Annalise said, possible backstory uncleared. Local TV news once reported that Bridge Guy had been identified and was cleared. One of Richard Allen's friends said something similar. Maybe that was so. I don't know. The interaction at the end of the bridge was strange. Maybe he knew they were trapped. Maybe. Okay. Annalise said, apparently they didn't get anything in their search of Richard Allen's home. Nothing damaging was presented at trial. Box cutters, maybe, but a lot of us have box cutters. Yeah, I agree. Don't dox me. Travis Trexler lived at Keegan Klein's grandmother's. Travis Trexler is Keegan's cousin. He moved after he got questioned by the police and arrested for some other charge. Is it true? That's a fishy character here in this case, Travis Trexler. I wonder if when we say that the cell phones of the clients were being operated at, I think that it was at the Canal Street house, and that's their alibi. Some people say it's an airtight alibi, which this is stupid in my opinion. Yeah, maybe he could be Travis Trexler, who was the one operating the cell phones. I don't know, or friend one. Remember that friend one, he had access to the Wi-Fi connection of the clients. So I don't know. Good point. They didn't want to implicate Keegan Klein because he would implicate Ron Logan and his drop. Yeah, good point. Fluffy, Doc Carter said the info about the Wabash River search would come out in the PCA for Richard Allen. I don't remember that, but I don't think it came out. Annalise, on the other hand, if Keegan Klein could name names, I don't think he'd gotten 44 years. Maybe he was loose for 3 years while important people scrubbed their activities. I don't know. Hello, Carol, how are you? Don't dox me. Who's Jared Fogle, Shay? I don't know who's Jared Fogle. Mrs. Haunted Parlor, Cryptex. Can you repeat that again? Did they locate a knife in the Wabash River? Do we know what they did? They locate the item? No, I didn't say that. I said that there's nothing that is being published in that sense. They didn't say we find something, and I don't remember law enforcement saying that they didn't find anything. But there's nothing that was found, let's say. If something was found, we don't know. They didn't talk about that. But what we know is that Jerry Holman today, he says that he cannot talk about the Wabash River search. So that's, I don't know. Sindal, some parallel construction, it sounds like Cryptex. What? Analyset. Okay. I have the answer I was asking for. Thank you, Jane X lawyer. My gut tells me that if the police found something that could be used against Richard Allen, they would have used it. And by all appearances, the judge would have allowed it to be continued. That's your gut. Interesting. And that's my first reflex also. But I want to understand that. And thank you for your answer. Makes sense. But at the same time, it's your gut, or because you are keeping the doors open here, is your gut who tells you that if something was found, they should use it. But my question is, if they found something, are they forced to use it or not? In the case there was a negotiation between law enforcement and Keegan Klein. Thank you for your answer again, but if you can elaborate a little bit more, that could clarify my thoughts here. Thanks again. Annalise, I'm so disappointed in Doc Carter, who said more than once that when they know stuff, he would share what they know. Then he gave a couple of hours of word salad in the murder sheet interview. Yeah. He was just waiting for the case to be solved to retire, to present his retirement. And maybe that's why they rushed to convict Richard Allen. Doc Carter, he was not able to resign if the case was not solved. He was waiting for the case to be solved to retire after that, because if not, it would be a shame for him to leave the agency or the institution without solving the case. And maybe there was a lot of pressure to solve the case in a rush way. And that's why Richard Allen was convicted. That is a very good point. I don't know. Shay Watson is talking about the Fogel case. I really don't know about that. So I'm going to look about it. Okay, the lawyer again. This makes me think they found nothing, or the crime lab tested resulting in no positive connections. Yeah, good point. Unless it was obtained in a illicit manner. My point is, let's say they found a cell phone, and that cell phone was a confirmation that Richard Allen was connected. But in the same cell phone, there was information about other people that it was not in the interest of law enforcement to be part of this case. You know what I mean? That's my suspicion. I don't know. I think they found something that connected Allen to the clients, but that connected the clients to other people as well. Maybe someone with power. It sounds like a far-fetched theory, but again, when I see this graphic here, Grissom Air Force Base, Wabash River search, Keegan Klein's grandmother's burn pit search, and arrest of Richard Allen. It's too much. It's too much of a coincidence. Okay, I'm gonna stay here for another 5 minutes, guys. So sorry if I miss any comment. I don't like that Kelsey communicated with Keegan Klein via Anthony Schott's account while the girls were still missing. That's a bad fact in my eyes, no matter how you slice it. Yeah. That's a good point. Lack of PC is another very fair thought, given how this case was handled. Okay, don't dox me. They didn't find the knife in the river, where Keegan Klein said his father threw out the window while crossing the bridge. Not a phone as far as I know. Okay, but again, the judge probably would not have shot them down if they wanted to use something obtained improperly. I hate to say it. You stole my words again, Simdal. Or maybe they are protecting some investigative method they don't want revealed. Again, sometimes I'm so connected with Simdal, I'm scared about that. I don't know. J. Ray, how would Kelsey even know that Anthony Schott was talking to Libby at that point? I think she was trying to contact all of the potential contacts in Instagram and Snapchat that Libby had, trying to get some information, talking to a lot of people. And one of those people was Anthony Schott, one of those contacts. That's how I understand the situation, that Kelsey started to contact everybody who should have any type of information, all of Libby's contacts, let's say. But I don't know. It's a good point again. Annalise, an important point about the video is that the girls decided to go down the hill before the man ever spoke. Lawyer, Cryptex making us all think. No, we are all thinking together, guys, and thank you. And again, I understand if you don't, you're not aligned with my theory here, but we try to understand this maze together, let's say. Annalise, I think Travis Trexler lived in a house down the road from Grandma's. Some drove around with cameras, and that's the way I remember it. Don't dox me. Confirm that Keegan Klein said what the search was about, or I'm not getting what you're saying. I'm lost here, guys. Sorry for that. Okay. They never found a knife and phone that was connected to Keegan's. We don't know. We don't know that. Don't dox me. We don't know. We don't know if they found something or not. We cannot trust law enforcement here. So I don't know. I think they found something. I really think they found something. And why is Jerry Holman saying that he cannot talk about the Wabash River search? Maybe it's because they found something. And this is not the right moment to talk about that because everything is very hot. So they are just waiting that, you know, the situation calms down, let's say, over time. And at one point, they're going to talk about the Wabash River search. But he's saying that today he cannot talk about that. To me, it's because they found something there. It's not a coincidence that he just decided not to talk about the Wabash River search. Okay. And I said, maybe they found all kinds of stuff in the Wabash River, but after years in the water, is not usable as evidence. That's a great comment. And I was thinking about that. Let's say they found the phone that Keegan Klein was talking about during the interrogatory. I'm just gonna say something stupid here, but you have to look for a Samsung Galaxy with an X engraved at the back of the phone, let's say, and they find that. So, oh, Keegan was right. We found that phone, but they go inside and there's nothing there. That's a great point, Anna. Thank you for that. Great point. It's not usable as an evidence, but it's usable enough to reinforce the conviction of law enforcement that Richard Allen was connected to the crime. That's a great point. Thank you for that. Makes me feel a little bit better. Even if knives and phones were thrown into the Wabash River, spring floods would likely take them far. I'm not sure about that. With the mud and stuff like that, some things tend to stick at the bottom of the river. I'm not sure about it. Who answered the door at Anna's house when BP went there? She said a family member. Okay. I read Cryptex his mind. He doesn't know. I think you do for sure. Girl lawyer. I think Carter's comments about not being able to talk about the Wabash search has more to do with spending a bunch of taxpayer dollars and finding no usable evidence. I disagree. You know why? Because those guys, they're very smart. So they're going to twist the situation in another way. They're going to say, we were so involved in solving this case that we went to search the river for 4, 5, 6 weeks. We were tired. We were spending money because we wanted too hard to solve this crime. So he's going to appear like a hero talking in that way. So I disagree here with you, girl lawyer. To me, actually, it's something that he can use for his own benefit. But he's not talking about that. And again, my suspicion is because they found something there. I think so. Okay. From the Theory 21, please contribute for free and hit the like. Yeah, hit the like, guys. Take advantage of notification options. Click on subscribe button and share. Everyone is very much appreciated. Thank you again, my friend, for remembering that sometimes I have to call to action. Analyset, it seems to be accepted that the Wabash River search cost $1 million. yeah, that's the amount of money that I have in my mind as well. And to me, it makes sense. 5 weeks of search. I don't know how many people were there searching, resources associated to that search, vehicles. It's a lot of money. It's not crazy, and maybe it was even more. I don't know. Cryptex, yes, I can see them doing a spin like that. Yeah. Okay, guys, that was all for today. I really appreciate your presence here. Stay in touch. Please, again, hit the like, subscribe. Sorry if I didn't read any of your comments here. Keep or put the comments in the video, in the comment section if you have any question or any comments about what we talked today. And thank you again, guys. I appreciate your presence as usual. Stay in touch. Ciao, guys.